everyone, and welcome here to T3 Talks. I'm not in Encinitas, I'm in beautiful San Diego, California, right here in downtown. Now, what's so beautiful is, what I love about San Diego, Liberty, is as you reporting on the news, how beautiful the city is, and from what we're seeing here, getting me out of the coast and off the beach. Thank you for inviting me out here. I tell you, the views are spectacular. Now, you guys know out there, I suck at introducing people, all right? So Liberty, I met Liberty at Clever Talks a few months ago. We hit it off ever since. Liberty is on Channel 7 and NBC, and I'm looking at some awards she has right here that I know she's going to tell you about. But Liberty, tell us, everybody out there, how beautiful you are and what you do for the beautiful San Diego.
Thank you, Rick, for even having me on your show. I'm excited to be with you and all of your viewers and followers here today. I'm Liberty Zabala. I'm a reporter for NBC7, but I also anchor the news and anchor weather as well. A brief history about my career path here is that I've been here for 5 years. I've covered a lot of military here, huge military.
Hoorah! Super Fires Marines.
That's how we met from the
Talks. Yeah, thanks, Chris and Hillary.
Conference, which focused on military and veterans, and I was an MC for that. But it has made me just develop such an appreciation of the community here. It's so different because of how many we have the Marines, we have the Navy, we have several bases, and I've been able to get to know veterans like yourself, active duty people as well. And
we're crazy. She's learning that right off the bat. The veterans are nuts. Like, she's seeing, like, okay, I deal with this, but now I'm going to say us Marines are a little bit more crazy.
I would say nuts. I would say colorful.
That's it, colorful. That's it, color. I like it. We're passionate. Encinitas, they call me passionate.
But what I love about this community is just how rich your stories are.
Yeah. Exactly.
And being able, having the honor to tell and share your stories has even allowed me to earn an award. I've earned the Veda and Colonel Barney Oldfield National Security Reporting Fellowship for my coverage, and I've earned 2 Emmys here as well, covering breaking news across San Diego County. One Emmy was for the lilac fire that burned across San Diego County, and then the other one was for the Las Vegas mass shooting, which was a really difficult story to report on, but I had the pleasure of meeting a lot of heroes and victims and sharing their stories of survival. And that's what really calls me to and draws me to being a journalist, is to be able to share with the world what people are going through and taking you away from maybe a little bit outside of just what you're doing on the daily basis, but actually showing the story of Rick and what he goes through as a veteran. And maybe you can relate to it in some way. So I hope to act as a window for people.
And I'm going to tell you, and being a window, not only a window, but a very pleasant window, because like I talked about this in previous casts, in podcasts, it's extremely hard. Put yourself in Liberty's shoes, guys, for 1 second, to put the fires or the shooting. You get the intel, you get the information, but you've got to be compassionate. You've got to understand that people across this are going to interpret this, because we all have families, we all have friends. So it takes a huge amount of practice, but you have to be a really good person. I've got to tell you that. And that's the love and kindness she shows us veterans. Again, it's really weird sometimes, because as jarheads, we're the complete opposite. We're just like, oh, I can do it, don't worry about it. Like, just drive on and drive on. So when I meet someone like yourself and Chris and everybody, it's kind of a good sense of feeling camaraderie and teamwork, which I didn't have, which I aspire to still have outside the military. So here's the other interesting thing that I find why me and Liberty kind of meet in the middle here, all right, is the thriving for excellence, all right? I'll give you an example. Like, I was training for Ironman, and I'm going around the country and doing everything, like this. I'm sponsored and all this stuff. And you know what? I decide that the mortgage market is kind of like, it's not fulfilling me as much as I want, but I'm still racing elite-wise, and I'm trying to make that jump. So I decided at 37 years old to go back to school. Now, the cool part about that is, everybody in the mortgage business says, hey, Rick, you're on top of your game. You're an elite athlete over here. Just like Michael Jordan, sometimes you go out and, at the top. For me, I said, you know what? I want to do something really hard. So at 37, I go back to school. Now, you and I were talking. I was like, hey, you're on the top of your game. You're doing everything, but you still want to get a little bit better. So tell me about, going back to school and how, a little scary it is, or maybe how exciting it is.
was scary and exciting for me. And yes, as you mentioned, you said to me, you're at the top of your game. You must feel this way and that, being a 2-time Emmy-winning journalist and covering San Diego. This is a dream job, right? What more could you want? But for people like you and me, I think we always want to grow and strive for more. And being content at the level you are is not where we can be. We can't just sit still. We can't be stagnant. We can't stop that growth. So for me, I came to a point in my life where I said, okay, you know, I'm very proud of my accomplishments and my achievements, but I still feel like I can do more. I can give more. I can serve more. How can I do that? And I developed a strong interest in Homeland Security.
Oh, nice.
Covering national security here in San Diego. And that's
good in my heart. I love security. We talk about guns.
Okay.
Yeah, my favorite.
I need to calm Rick down here in this show. Okay.
Nice.
So I've also developed so many from my reporting, so many close ties and sources in local, state, and federal law enforcement and in the military, you know, different branches and everything. And I thought, okay, so I'm kind of understanding the world here. Maybe I can study it and go to school for it and see what happens, because you obviously, the community, if you have a skilled reporter who covers you well, you develop a sense of respect, because that reporter respects you to know about your community, to report it accurately.
Correct.
You want someone who really understands the intricacies, so they are telling their stories in the most accurate and truthful light. So I thought, okay, if I understand the intricacies by actually getting a master's degree in this, then not only will I be serving the security community, national security community, but I'll also be a better translator for your community to the general public, to civilians who don't know anything about it, and better inform them about what you guys do, or what's happening on that side of the world or industry.
It's a nice way to walking through the person's shoes alike. You know, like, you really don't understand until you walk through. So it's nice is getting the backside of the federal and learning that it's really becoming well-rounded. And being well-rounded, let me ask you this though. When you're in the classroom there, all right? Remember, I went to school at 37. So unfortunately, like, I went in there. Is it different going back for your master's? Because I know like people, I would talk to my instructor, people are like, oh, this is gonna be fast. I'm like, no, I got all day. Like, just teach me, I'm gonna sit in class. Do you notice that you're a different type of learner?
Okay, so what's interesting is the person who recommended I go take this leap and recommended the school that I'm going to, which is American Military University, was an Army veteran.
Oh, nice!
He told me, you should go to this school, you should study this, and he got that degree too. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna make the leap. And it's online. So I can work full time as a breaking news reporter Monday through Friday on the morning show on NBC7, and then after be a full-time student. So I'm like juggling both, which is really difficult, but I'm learning a lot. Like, I just finished my first course and I focused my research on cybersecurity.
Very important right now.
Yeah.
Yep. It's with what I love about the way the evolution has happened. Let me tell you this. In 1991, I opened up my first University of Phoenix correspondence course. So it's really cool to hear that how the master's programs have really grown and developed throughout that. But now you can manage both things. You can work a full-time job and still go to school. Back a few years ago, that wasn't as possible. You couldn't do that.
You had to go, like, stop your career and go back into school, which is like, I don't know how anyone can do that if you have to support yourself and pay for school. But
you live with your mother-in-law. You go on welfare. You go on welfare like I do. You know, and literally do that. Now, I'm gonna throw something out here that people might not know. All right, you guys know out there in social media land, I've been married 25 years. My wife is Filipino. I'm a nurse. My wife is a nurse, and we've been good nurses. All right, so funny story is I used to be introduced by my mother-in-law, this is Rick. Now, when I became a nurse, this is Rick. Now here's Rick the nurse. So it's like I established some credibility. So oh my God. So how is
that's also about it.
Yeah.
Me getting this master's is also about establishing that credibility. So what kind of reporter would you want covering these issues? A reporter who just does general news, or someone who actually has the credentials to back it up? So I'm thinking of it in all those different avenues, and that's why I really don't want to be just a pretty face on TV. I don't want that. I want to serve the viewer in every way possible, and if that means developing the research, developing the intelligence that I learned from this course, that's what I'm going to do, because that's how you get better.
And that's it. And like I often say that this pretty face is a lot of hard work too. So I'm not gonna lie. So I will tell you this. So speaking of that,
we both work out almost every day.
All the time. We're sitting there, and I'll tell you a little secret, okay, you guys. It's funny that most people won't believe, but in high school, biggest dork in the world. All right, I had these Sally Jesse Raphael glasses right there. I had a mullet. The only thing that saved me is that I played sports. I was a football player. I played soccer. I played all this stuff. So from here down, I was a butterface. All right. So literally, I would literally take my shirt off, and I was chiseled. But all the girls were like, he wears those glasses. He's got all that stuff like that. He's really kind of dumb too, but wow, is he ripped. Ta-da! But that's a little funny thing about me, but you and I were talking that you might have a little, like, your high school was kind of...
I was a complete nerd growing up. I had buck teeth, I had glasses, I had braces growing up, so
you're here bobbing and weaving when we talk to you, things coming out of your mouth go, hey, there's a little food there.
People are like, you were a nerd? Yeah, I was a total nerd. And I got good grades, with in Asian.
I cheated off of her. That's what was supposed to. I would cheat off of. But here's the nice thing about that. I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't change my life for anything, because they say that the ugly duckling becomes a swan. I had to work hard at making sure that my body looked good. I fixed those teeth. I got laser surgery. You know what I'm saying? I got laser surgery on my eyes because those cook bottle
glasses. I'm wearing contacts right now.
But what's nice is the only reason I got that laser surgery because I was really close to being blind. I swear to God, you guys, I was that close. The guy was like, oh, but it has been a lot of work. So that commitment to myself, getting my teeth fixed. And imagine doing that at 35 years old. And I'm walking around with braces. At least in high school, you get it. But I was a dorky guy selling loans to you. Imagine you come up to me, oh my God, how you doing?
Well, what's interesting is I feel like the dorky people who are dorky young, they become successes when they're older.
Yep.
I think it's because of that dorky phase that allows them to grow and develop a character. A sense of character that you wouldn't get if everything was handed to you, being beautiful or being popular. And those people who are that young, they don't really develop into very successful people later on.
You don't want to peak in high school. That's
exactly.
for sure.
You don't want to
peak in high school.
But someone who, that's why I will always have a soft spot for nerds and dorks. I'm one of them still. I consider myself a secret nerd and secret dork.
And that's a cool part. And you know what? That's why I always say define normal. And when you define normal, I often say you and I are normal. Everybody else is not normal because we defy. We're not complacent. We seek out education, compassion, empathy. That sounds a lot like a leader, you guys, right? Like leaders. But leaders can be funny, leaders can be pretty, leaders can be this. It's you lead from within. And that's the beauty part of it. Now, I really appreciate you coming out today, Liberty. And 511 has donated these beautiful morale patches. So I'd like for you to select. We've got a nice one here that's got the California flag, the red, white, and blue. And what I like, the little bit, the red, blue, and the little bit of that dark, that black sheet right there. So
I like this one.
Nice, and she's stealth. That's why. Nice, just like the Marine Raiders.
American flag
right there. And it puts on that Velcro. So Liberty, high five. That energy. Thank you so much. It's also appreciated.
My pleasure. Thank you guys for watching and joining us here. And feel free to follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and you can ask me any questions on there as well, and I'll try to answer them.
And you mentioned that you'll be doing this week. You'll be hosting the.
Yes, I'll be anchoring the news and anchoring weather on NBC7 for the morning show this weekend. So if you're up at 7 a.m.
Up
On
at
a
5.
weekend?
I'm up at 5, so I'm going to be tuning
If
in.
you're up, watch me on Channel 7. I'll be there welcoming you in all the news and weather information that you will need this weekend for the morning. And as you can see, if you're looking outside, it is raining, so you might want to tune in.
And
it's going to rain.
And if you're tuning in with her, remember, I train regardless of the condition. So if it's raining and you go, I didn't check the weather, I'm like, hey, I had the actual girl on TV to actually tell you what the weather was like. So you guys, I'll tell you, our motivation inspires you to be better. I love that Liberty has gone back to school to get her master's. If you have any questions or anything, go ahead and leave those comments there on the bottom, you guys. I will talk to you guys soon. High five. There you go. Let's do it. You're right.
For having
hey,
me.
I have my producer. You know what he does. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, I'm Liberty Zabala. I'm a reporter for NBC7 San Diego. I also anchor the news and anchor weather at times as well. To find me on social media, just head to my Twitter page at LibertyNBC7SD, and on Facebook, just search my name, Liberty Zabala, and I hope to connect with you guys there. Talk to you later. Bye.